Assalamualaikum ji. Welcome back to the Kahe, Kazi podcast. My guest today is Zain Jafar. Zain Jafar owns a media content creation agency. He's also a close friend of mine and a flamboyant character, as you will find out. We speak about how times have been in the times of Corona and how businesses have been affected and his flamboyant hobbies, which you will get to in a bit, inshallah. Enjoy. 2, 1, Zain Jafar.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
So we were talking about your flamboyant new laptop. Flamboyant is a good word.
Yeah.
So tell us.
So it's an Acer. It's called the Concept D7,
Okay.
and it's a beast.
That's a beast. That's what it is. For video editing mostly.
Yeah. So it's so basically Acer comes with Acer has a Predator series as well. Okay.
Haan ji, haan.
And that's a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
And this is geared towards the creative individual. So there's the same spec, but like for the creative. So that doesn't have, let's say, for example, a 4K display. This has a 4K like Pantone display. And supposedly the processing is more geared towards editing and the likes.
So. But and you primarily work in that field, in the creative field. You have your own business and stuff.
Yeah, so this only happened 2 years ago.
Acha.
And so I've been running my agency since 2012. But I was a sate. Okay, so
fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
So my only job was to. So my title was Chief Innovation Officer. So the only thing I was paid essentially to do was
look at
to
reports.
chill and just think up of the wildest shit we could sell to companies, right? So in 2012, we did Pakistan's first 3D street art, right?
All right.
And this was for Magnum, and then it was done at Dolmen Mall, huge success.
Alhamdulillah.
And then 3 weeks later, we did it for Mountain Dew. At that time, they had, the campaign where there was a guy jumping off a dam.
Sure,
on a
yeah.
skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
So the 3D artwork was for that, and then we did that in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Pindi, Multan.
Wow, mashallah.
So I was 24, and loving life.
Obviously, yeah. You would, right?
Yeah. I was like stoked.
Yeah.
So basically, these were one-off projects, right? And what happened was that 3D art was such a niche offering that not only was it a little hard to explain to somebody what it was,
Sure.
but it was expensive as well. But now, let's say, for example, like there's an artist, international artist, 3D artist called Tracy Lee Stum. Okay, she charges, let's say, for example, $20,000 for something which is 5 meters by 5 meters, right? Which is 15 feet by 15 feet.
That's not a lot.
Barely anything.
Yeah.
So she's charging $20,000 for that, and we charged around about 800 grand PKR for something which was 48 feet deep and like around about 15 feet wide.
Was the reason the same as the reason for everything else being underpriced in Pakistan? Ki itna exposure nahi hai, things of that sort.
Yeah, the thing is that so they value creativity and innovation and out of the box thinking, and the thing is people are allowed to price such things in a premium way, right?
Sahi.
Because they were like, there's only a handful of people who do it. Now, what Tracy Lee Stum does is she hand draws these things, right? They're chalk drawings on pavements, on walls, etc., etc.
Okay.
What I did was I said, so my first thing was, okay, let's get Tracy over here. We'll charge a commission and we'll implement it.
So you were really serious about the wildest shit, just all of it.
So I actually picked something much wilder. I'll get to that.
Yeah, you must.
So the thing is, so the solution I found to that was, okay, look, we have great digital artists over here.
We do.
Right?
Yeah.
So all I did was we drew the thing digitally and then printed it.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And then I could print it to scale,
Yeah.
to whatever
Yeah.
scale I wanted,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And I didn't have to charge for the man hours, so to speak. So I
Sahi.
could discount it heavily.
Sahi,
Right?
sahi.
Hence where the price off came. But still, it was a very expensive proposition for these companies. And the thing is, like, we had a lot of interest at that time. Like in 2012, when we did it, like airlines, cleaners, like surface cleaners, lot of FMCGs.
But this is your own agency.
This is my own agency.
What you're doing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, everybody showed interest, but what they didn't understand was that 3D art in real life looks like shit.
Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that you ever have seen 3D art as is a picture.
Yes.
And a picture basically is the right perspective, so the
Yes.
right angle, the right
Yes.
viewing distance,
Yes,
whatnot,
yes,
in
yes.
order for that picture to look that way.
Yeah.
And hence, your or actors are made to interact with it in that way.
Yes.
But the actor on ground does not understand what he's doing, essentially.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People didn't understand that. So they said, listen, like, let's do it across the country. Aap hamare liye na ek,
Campaign chala de.
campaign chala dein. Haan, exactly. Aap stickers bana dein. And they called it stickers because,
Sure.
people. So they were like, we want कि वो कारफोर की आयल के अंदर जा रहे हों और उनको लगे कि वो एक कुएं में गिरने वाले हैं.
Good.
ये नहीं होने वाला. Because the thing is, it's all about perspective.
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's something called a horizon line where you have to limit your perspective so that you don't see anything else. So yes, it could have possibly worked if you had given me the entire aisle and the entire flooring was that artwork. So yes, we could have done it, but only at that vantage point, right? Anyways, long story short, we did a few more projects after that. We did it for Engro, we did it for a few airlines internationally as well. And then it turned out that I was not doing anything in my free time apart from that because 24 years old,
Making all this money.
making money, buying sports cars.
Yes, buddy. Yes.
And I was loving it.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, then I said, I want a sustainable source of income, and I thought that, the identity development, branding space, social media management space had a lot of lack of quality,
Yes. We
going
just
on.
didn't know what was
Yeah,
what.
at all. So at that time we started giving services in social media, right? So from then till now we've serviced upwards of 80 clients
Wow,
in roughly 7-8 years. So and we worked with them all. So we worked with FMCGs, SMEs, restaurants, startups, the
FMCGs
works.
और ये SMEs क्या होते हैं भाई?
अच्छा FMCG मतलब कि यूनिलीवर जो हो गया.
Okay, all
ठीक है.
right, fair enough.
यूनिलीवर का ब्रांड हो गया मैग्नम, यूनिलीवर का वॉल्स हो गया, लिप्टन हो गया, फिर ब्रांड्स लाइक टपाल, एंग्रो हो गया, तो उनके उमंग लस्सी वगैरह वगैरह.
सही.
And SMEs would be like your restaurants, like yeah. So anyways, ये हुआ. अच्छा फिर ना 2018 के अंदर जून के अंदर our dollar took a shit.
Yeah.
And when our dollar took a shit, a lot of our clients who were basically importing and selling goods over here started backing off because the first thing to go was marketing.
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
So they said budget cuts, this and that, whatnot. And I was like, okay. So I've always been somebody who, in the face of adversity, wants to double down and push harder,
On
right?
your craft.
Get more
Yeah,
involved,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that I thought was that, so what we would do for our clients initially throughout the years, the 6 years till that point, was that we would, outsource to photography agencies, right?
Okay.
So 18% Grey ho gaya, Kashif Rashid ho gaya, a lot of freelance photographers, whatnot, or videographers.
Yeah.
And we would create content for our clients, keep a commission, and that's it.
Wow.
the core issue with this was that yes, you could do the shoot and whatnot, but these would become campaign shoots, so to speak, because they couldn't be done as frequently because they were an expensive proposition, right?
Yes.
And then I also felt that the content became redundant very fast, right?
Because it was so focused.
And then you can't do much more with it,
No.
right? So our argument with our client always used to be कि shoot करवाओ, budget नहीं है, sort of situation. हाँ. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, हम इन हाउस क्यों नहीं लेके आते इसको? तो फिर जब इन हाउस करने की सोची, the thing with me is I'm a very hands-on person.
Sure, yeah.
So even in 3D street art, like I know I was the one. So the digital artist did not know how to create the perspective art, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the learning. I explained to the person how this has to be executed.
Baka the Renaissance man hai.
So the same way with graphic design, the same way with content, same way with Facebook or whatever social media platforms we were running at that time. So I was like, okay, the first thing we should do is buy a camera. And I always thought, ki, acha, it's not like I've not owned DSLRs in the past. We had a family DSLR.
Who hasn't?
Everybody does, right?
Yeah.
And I would be like, everybody would be like, हाँ अच्छा Zain अच्छी तस्वीरें खींचता है, sort of situation.
Cute.
Yeah, really cute. But yeah, so I was like, how hard could it be? So I go and I'm like, what is the latest and greatest, so that we have an edge over there also, over our competitors, so to speak.
Make it future-proof, at least for the next couple of years.
Exactly. So I was like, I first saw what our vendors at that time were using, because we were using multiple vendors for said services.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not using premium equipment, so to speak, right? So I went and bought the Sony A7 III.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And at that time, everybody was like, "तुम झूठी हो गए हो, तुम्हें कैमरा चलाना नहीं आता, तुमने ये क्यों खरीद लिया?"
Just to make it clear, that's like a 3 lakh rupee camera.
Give or take. Yeah, $2,200. So anyway, so here I am, and I've gone and bought the best camera and we got the award also in 2018 for best camera in that price range also. And I've bought it, and I'm like, okay, I need to start learning. And then this is September 2018. And anyways, so then I went to Talha Gauri. Talha Gauri is a photographer.
Okay.
He's a teacher also.
Mm-hmm.
He runs a training school, so to speak.
Okay.
Churns out 60 photographers a month or every 2 months sort of situation.
Wow.
Yeah. तो उधर मैंने सीखा, मतलब कैमरा ऑपरेट करना के फोकल लेंथ क्या होती है और ISO क्या होता है और शटर क्या होता है वगैरह वगैरह. अच्छा, फ़नी थिंग इज़ कि जब मैं ये कैमरा ख़रीद रहा था ना, उस टाइम पे मैं बड़ी कंट्रोवर्शियल बात करने वाला हूँ अभी. सो द थिंग इज़ कि मैंने ना एक कंटेंट क्रिएटर को मैसेज किया था. 2 कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स थे जिनको मैसेज किया था कि देखें, आप कंटेंट क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, मैं ये कैमरा लेने जा रहा हूँ, मुझे खक नहीं पता कैमरा के बारे में, मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, आई डोंट नो, मुझे व्हाट शुड बी माय फर्स्ट लेंस. ओके, एंड आई रिमेंबर that was the one time that this content creator has ever replied to me, and this content creator said कि ले रहे हैं आप Sony A7 III और सवाल आप हमसे पूछ रहे हैं ये sort of situation. And this content creator then subsequently went and bought a Sony A7 III also.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Do I want to know who this content creator is?
Well,
Forget this. All right.
Yeah, so dream camera of his and whatnot. But, fair dues, whatever. I think the perception, for some reason, that I've always put across is I'm actually quite like a humble guy, okay?
I know this, yeah.
And if I don't know something, I'll ask, and I have no qualms about...
That's the best attitude to have. मुझे नहीं आता.
हाँ, नहीं आता तो नहीं आता, लेकिन फिर अगर आपके Sony A7 III है तो है, it's something that I thought would give me a competitive advantage, and I would price it less than my competitors and offer a better product, and that made business sense to me.
Basic economics, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was really disheartened. I said, what the fuck, like, like,
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. So then you go to YouTube and you're like, acha, fuck our Pakistani content creators, and, we'll take help from people who are willing and putting out free content, essentially, on YouTube, right? So I did a lot of learning over there. And then Talha Gauri was there also, where, he said, अच्छा यार ये focal length होती है, ISO shutter, aperture वगैरह वगैरह होती है. तो तस्वीर खींचना आ गया ना कि अच्छा ठीक है, हाँ ये कर सकते हैं.
It's not a paperweight anymore.
हाँ,
Now I can do
exactly,
something with it.
precisely, right?
Yeah.
And I later found out that the lens that I had got, even though now the thing is, look, so you can look at online reviews and whatnot, but and they'll say this is the greatest lens ever, this is the best lens to buy, but they don't understand the environment that you're in and the problem you're trying to solve.
Obviously, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I went and bought an 85mm lens. Now the thing is कि मैंने photography करनी थी restaurants के अंदर. सही है?
सही.
Restaurant हमारे हैं चीन, इतने छोटे से ना हमारे restaurant हैं.
हाँ.
So an 85mm would mean that I would be standing at one end of the restaurant and the table would be at the other end and I would be getting a picture.
For all those listening who don't know, what that means is that it's a zoomed in lens. It's a prime lens.
It's a prime lens, yes.
It's a prime lens with a wide open aperture as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And
so it's extremely like zoomed in. Let's be completely basic. Very zoomed in, okay? So अब मैं ना, so this became a problem also, usage. फिर जाके हमने वापस ऑनलाइन गए क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स देयर वाज नो लोकल हेल्प. तो जब ऑनलाइन वापस गए उन्होंने कहा अच्छा आप 50mm ले लें. तो द प्रॉब्लम आई हैव with our industry is that they'll help. It's not like they don't want to help, right?
Sure.
But they'll help on their terms, right?
Fair.
This help is not readily available for everybody.
No, there's strings.
Yeah,
there's
right?
Strings,
yeah, it's like, acha yaar, I like you, chalo, I'll help you out. Maybe I'll get some benefit from you later on. But it's not ki acha yaar, doesn't matter.
No.
Whoever you are, I'll help you out.
You grow, I grow, everyone grows.
Exactly, right?
Then एक यहाँ पे मैं बात करना चाहूँगा क्या होता है कि there's this dichotomy ना.
Yeah.
Generally in industries there is the abundance mentality, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're all gonna grow.
Yeah.
If they pay me more, they can't pay you the same amount.
Yeah.
You can increase your price as well. Like what crude misal दे रहा हूँ.
बिल्कुल.
And the other one is the famine mentality.
Yeah.
कि नहीं मतलब इसको मैं काटूं उसको मैं काटूं लोग मुझे काटें. Like everyone's on their own.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're speaking
Yeah,
to.
bilkul. So the thing is, and I've faced this multiple times over the years because what would happen is that we as a small agency, 12 people, we would go and pitch to larger corporations and for social media management now, right? Rather than the big wow ideas, right? And they would say, well, don't have a big enough team, this and that, whatnot, don't have that much experience, don't have relevant industry experience, etc., and you would be knocked off. But so I would go to, I have friends who have agencies similar sized, and I would be like, listen, let's say for example, you own a content management agency, right? I own a design agency. Somebody else owns a video agency. How about you stop being the king of your hill, right? And we all come together
and make a mountain.
And bilkul, and that's it. Yeah. And within days, you suddenly go from being a 12-person agency to like a 36-person agency.
A serious player.
Serious player. Yeah. And the thing is, who gives a shit what is internally the structure?
Yeah.
If you are, unified as one in front of everybody else, that's what counts, right? Yeah. So you could have your accounts completely separate, whatever, but you could just say that yes, we are one, and that's about it. But we are so insecure I think, as a nation.
That's the word.
That, कि नहीं यार ये मेरा advantage ले लेगा तो वो advantage देगा. I'm happy what I'm earning and that's about it.
Thriving in my own mediocrity, and that's
Bilkul,
fine.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Precisely how you've termed it. So the thing is, the battle has been that this whole time, and that's that.
That's that.
Yeah.
And what about Rona?
Yeah.
Where does your work go here?
Yeah, it took a dump,
Oh.
right? So we saw, like, okay, so the way my business is that in 2014 or 2014, yes, 2014, there was a coffee brand that came to Pakistan. Okay.
Will not be named.
Okay. I haven't named so far, so I don't want to.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they came to Dolphin Mall, right?
Did they have anything to do with pants?
So we did the work for them. We were a young agency, international brand, very reputed brand. Came through a reference also, and basically defaulted on payment of upwards of 1.5 million rupees, right? At that time, right? So, but so then then I had friends who said, "Acha, chalo, let's go get recovery, this and that, but understand that there can be repercussions. Are you ready for that? Are you that kind of a person, etc."
Repercussions meaning what?
Yeah, you know how harami people over here are. Like, if their ego is hurt,
that's what your friends were talking about. कि ये होगा.
Yeah. They're like, चलो, तुम अपने हक हलाल के पैसे लेने जाओगे, और जब उसकी बेइज्जती होगी हम उसको फोर्स करेंगे पैसे देने के लिए, तो repercussion हो सकते हैं.
मैंने कहा, अच्छा, kids though, what the hell?
हाँ, my wife was pregnant at that time. I was like, अच्छा, okay, fuck that shit. So, but that learning basically scarred me to a point where I said, I will never work on credit, right? So I will leave work, but I will never work on credit. So the advantage during Corona that we had over other agencies was that our payments always happened in the beginning of the month.
All right.
So when Corona happened and people stopped payments for other agencies, they couldn't stop our payment because they'd already paid us.
Yeah.
So I was able to pay my staff, right? And alhamdulillah, sustain that period. After that, though, the thing is that our government has given such unrealistic numbers consistently, setting dates unrealistically कि अब lockdown खत्म होगा तो ये होगा तो होगा.
No one knows then, bhai. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the thing is, it's this has led to a lot of anxiety for a lot of people because you don't know what's next, right? You don't know when it's ending.
No.
You can't plan, and the thing is, I'm somebody who will want to plan at least the next 6 months in advance, right?
Say.
So for somebody like that, when you don't know what's happening tomorrow, literally today, somebody's balls could itch and they could have a feeling कि अच्छा यार चलो हम अगले 2 हफ्ते के लिए बंद कर देते हैं. And that's about it.
And that's about it?
Yeah.
The problem is, there's so much misinformation.
Yeah.
We don't even, is it still lethal? Well, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's fatal to some people.
Yeah.
But lockdown khul raha hai. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how when I called you for the podcast, you're like, have you been socially distancing?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I have. But I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot because no one else has.
Yes.
Everyone's like, why are you being stupid? Why are you
I think, and this has led to resentment in my house also, where, we've been really careful, right? My nanny's example, ठीक है? So nanny ने बोला कि मेरी cousin की death होगी. अच्छा बेटा, and you go and you try and be careful. And then when she came back after a week, we put her in the basement and we said quarantine yourself. And we got her tested. When she was negative, we brought her upstairs. Fair dues.
Just to be clear, the basement is like a livable space.
Yes. The quarters. Yeah.
Now you put her in the dungeon.
Yeah, of course. Locked her. No, but
fuck these VIP. Sorry. Yeah.
No. And then क्या कहते हैं the second time around, now she is like मेरी बहन का निकाह हो रहा है. अच्छा, is it lazmi for you to go? Is it is it the time to be getting niqabified right
Yeah,
now? And this guy is coming from Lahore by plane, etc., etc.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, after a week, she comes home again, goes into in the basement for quarantine. 3 days later, gets tested and is positive this time.
Oh my goodness. And
right?
you have kids. You have
and
young,
we have
young
kids,
yeah.
right? So we're like, listen, we can't keep you here. You have to go back.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, you have to understand their living conditions, where they're living in a room
Yeah.
with 10 other people.
Yeah.
So as a human, you're also giving a shit about that. Okay,
You
she's
have
gonna
to.
go and affect other people.
Ideally, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also have to talk about your survival, right? And the thing is, okay, we couldn't. What if something did happen to her? What if she did get, the effects of corona, so to speak, right?
Could you live with that? All those things.
And who would take her? How would it work out?
Yeah.
The logistics just didn't make sense. We had like a full-blown, argument at home where even my parents got involved, where my parents never do, how to handle this situation. So, anyways, so 25 days later, this woman has now, become clear and we got her tested again and she came out negative. Great. But the thing is, the inconvenience caused because my wife works, I work, and it just so happens that work is flexible right now. My work is, basically finished.
No, don't say that.
it is. But क्या कहते हैं, my wife would still have to go into office, but we somehow managed 25 days without this nanny. So Corona has messed up a lot of things logistically, emotionally, because so I had a Corona scare. I was at a shoot, wearing my mask, doing my SOPs, whatever, and we do the shoot and very socially distant. But the one thing was that I was filming while I was in my car, and somebody else was sitting in the car also. So, anyways, I'm, the same night, it was Monday, the same night, I get a call from this person and he's like, yeah, that entire family has corona. They tested positive.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, I'm like cuddled with my 1.5-year-old at this time.
God, no,
okay?
Come on.
And I'm like, holy fuck, So I like literally like run out and I'm like freaking out because now you're like,
Did I give it to her? The baby?
अब क्या, तो anyways, फिर मैंने क्वारंटीन किया. फिर जो बंदा मेरी गाड़ी में बैठा उसने टेस्ट कराया 2 दिन बाद और उसका पॉजिटिव आ गया. ठीक है. अब मैं कहूँ कि अच्छा ठीक है, अच्छा मेरे दोस्त कह रहे हैं कि तुम टेस्ट करवा लो वगैरह वगैरह. अच्छा, I don't want fucking shit going up my nose.
Sure, all right.
So I'm like, look, I've already quarantined, right?
Yeah.
Me testing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything, right?
Not
so I'm staying
anyone,
in. I'm in the room, okay?
Yeah.
I'm in my 5-year-old daughter's pink fucking room.
Yeah,
okay?
that's it. Yeah.
So I'm loving life.
Just to add to the suffering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I spent 10 days in that room, after which the guy got tested again and he said he had a false positive.
Oh boy. All right. Jeez, all right.
Right?
You were just
say,
fucked. This is how it feels.
Yeah. So inconvenience, man. And the mental fucking anguish. And the thing is that, not everybody will understand. My wife was cool enough to get it. She's like, okay, fine, no problem. But your parents will be like, why did you put yourself in that situation? We know you were being careful, but you could have still got it, etc., blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So like you said, we can be as careful as we want, but if the other chutia, is not being careful, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Dekho, that, and I think it's tested. So, there's obviously attitudes.
Yeah.
आप लोग जो हो VIPs हो, आप लोग बड़े लोग हो, आप लोग साहब लोग हो, ठीक है, हम नहीं हैं, so on and so forth. But it's values have been tested, disparity has been tested. अब जैसे, how you were talking about your stuff.
Yeah.
I remember getting on the phone with my father, who who was doing his quarantining in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
me and my brother were here in Karachi.
Yeah.
And I remember like having a full-on, I wouldn't say a meltdown, but like in the end, even he was like, "Yeah, why are you panicking?" I'm like, because I need to protect their families from them.
Yeah.
ये जो आपने बोला कि they're like, oh no, but मेरे उसका निकाह है. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't go because
Yeah.
वो गांव में है.
Yeah.
वहाँ पे अगर कोरोना नहीं भी है,
Yeah.
आप कराची से जाओगे.
बिल्कुल.
और कराची से आप ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं होगे, आप
बिल्कुल.
सदर के थ्रू जाओगे.
बिल्कुल.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're gonna take this there. I'm trying to save your family from you.
Yeah.
Why won't you understand?
Yeah.
And they're like, अच्छा चले 3 दिन के लिए जाने देते. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
You don't
you
get
don't
it.
understand.
No.
Like, you
No.
know,
Yeah.
and cool, classes are a thing.
Yeah.
Disparity is a thing.
Yeah.
All these things, you know, I didn't make them up,
Yeah.
right? And so if you ask me to feel bad about them, sure, I'll feel bad about them for a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm trying to save your family from you.
Yeah.
मैं क्या करूं?
बिल्कुल.
So वही वाली, you're right. Like, it's
You
been,
know, and the same thing happened with our chowkidar, where, you know, we were like, अच्छा अब वो नमाजी है,
हाँ चलो माशाल्लाह.
you know,
सही,
mashallah,
जबरदस्त,
great.
Yeah.
Hasn't gone to Jummah namaz, you know, this entire time, has been good about it. One fine day, where is Abid? Abid is gone for Jummah prayers.
Oh boy.
And he came back and I'm like, you know, what's your issue? But the thing is, you know, they're like, oh, you know, you're going out, you're working, this and that,
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Listen, buddy, like, you know, the way I carry myself, protect myself, you know,
You're not doing the same
yeah,
thing.
you're really not doing the same
Yeah.
thing, you know. So don't compare. And that is where it goes, you know.
Yeah, that's always where it goes.
And the thing is, you know, I don't want to sound like an elitist, but the thing is that the one thing that has come out of this has been that, you know, we are trying to end it, and they're, you know,
Oh, it's us
not.
versus them now, Zain bhai?
It is.
Are we doing this?
It is. That is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you're not trying to say, listen, protect yourself even. Why don't you protect me? You know, you could have it. Like, you know, there was this visual that was shared by WHO which said, मैंने अगर मास्क पहना हुआ है ना और आपको अगर खुदा ना खास्ता कोरोना है, I am still at 70% risk to get it.
Jeez.
But if, let's say, for example, I'm not wearing a mask, you have corona and you are wearing a mask, I have 3% chance of getting it.
Wow.
And if both of us are wearing masks, 1%.
That's it. It's not complicated.
And if we are 6 feet distant, 0%.
0%. That's it.
That's it. This is the solution, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
people talk about
Yeah.
toxic masculinity and all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
How many times have you been called a pussy
Yeah.
for not meeting people like
Bye.
"Ya jhappi pao, jhappi
Bye,
pao."
bye,
Oh,
bye,
yeah.
bye. So, okay. So, you know, okay. So when I say they, okay, I don't mean the rich and the poor.
No.
No, and I'll
Yeah.
explain this,
Yeah.
okay? I mean the intelligent and the idiots.
Sure. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because idiots come in all social stratas.
Oh yeah.
Right?
100%. Yes.
So the thing is, so I would, and I'm not going to call these people idiots. I'm like, you know, they're friends of mine. But the thing is that I would go to this house of a very affluent family,
Yes. Mashallah.
and the mother would laugh at me saying, "Why do you bring your own mask? We have lots of masks. Why don't you wear that?" But basically justifying me कि why are you wearing a mask in the first place?
Yeah.
2 weeks later, she had corona.
Oh my goodness.
Survived, alhamdulillah.
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 Okay.
You know, but at the end of the day, what the fuck? You know? And now, you know, but you know what my issue is? My issue is, and I once again don't want to sound like an asshole, the survivors. Because what has happened is that when they have survived corona,
Now they're the authority.
they're like, kuch hua hi nahi. Corona is nothing. Corona is a flu. Corona does not lead to death. But we have family members who have died
Yeah.
during this time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everybody was old. Yes, the majority of people have been aged. Right?
Dekho, we just don't know, na, Zain.
Yes.
That doesn't mean
Yeah.
कि it's not bad or that it's good.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
So let's err on the side of caution. That's all you're saying,
that's
essentially.
That's it.
You're not saying,
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
They're like,
better safe than sorry, yaar. Khatam kahani.
yeah.
Yeah, but idiots, yaar. You know?
That's it.
Yeah.
Idiots.
So I've legit right now, and I am the most patriotic person. I say I want to, like, you know, I'll bleed green sort of situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere. My wife is from Saudi, didn't even live here before marriage, right?
Wow.
So this makes complete sense for me to take her out of here.
Yeah.
But I've been like, nahi, Pakistan rahenge, Pakistan apna ghar hai, this and that, whatever.
Yeah. Jeez, dude.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you know, even if you are taking care of yourself, the SOPs are not being administered to allow that benefit to me.
Yeah, it's all politics. When you start politicizing misery, when misery becomes an entity, a social, it becomes a quantifiable entity. Ki bhai, matlab, you know, so many people passed away. Now I can make my point better.
Yeah.
तो फिर ये सब तो होता है. And I've heard that sentiment by a lot of people. कि यार देखो, people came back. Wait, people left their lives there, North America, wherever.
Bilkul.
Came back, they're like, you don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't care that there's no electricity or that there's no water. I want to be buried here.
Yes.
I'm like, well, you know, ronte khade karne wali cheez. I'm like, yo, that's like, how much more love can you have for a place? But it's the people here.
Yes.
They're like, oh yeah, but we never left.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been screwing this place up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But this time around, man, these people have shown their true colors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matlab ke the jahalat is ridiculous. And the jahalat has nothing to do with whether you live, you know, in Liari.
No.
Or whether you live in Phase 8.
No, it's
right?
not. Yeah, that's not it.
That jahalat is just, I don't know what it is. It's not even, like, at least care for yourself, man. Don't care for somebody else.
Care
for
yourself and your family.
That's it. That's it. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Protect your own kids. Protect your own wife.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe your parents.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Insane.
Pata nahi yaar. Before we started with 3D art, I do want to go back to that.
Yeah.
You were going to call that Jessie?
Tracy Lee.
Tracy, sorry.
Yes.
All white people. You were going to call Tracy to Pakistan. पे उसका क्या हुआ?
नहीं तो मैंने कहा, तो मैंने जब वो प्रपोजल डाला, उन्होंने कहा ये बहुत महंगा है. मैंने कहा ठीक है, अब सोल्यूशन ढूंढते हैं. सोल्यूशन ढूंढा तो हमने सस्ता ऑफर कर दिया.
And then Tracy was like,
no, so Tracy couldn't match it. Tracy thought this was blasphemy, right? Here you are, you know, spending 3 days developing this art form and whatnot, and you've digitized it.
Right. Yeah, she didn't. Yeah.
She would draw that shit.
Yeah.
You know, hand drawn, like this room, like she'll hand draw it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you know, Kazi, why are you fucking like wasting time? What if you don't even like the design?
Yeah.
You know, fuck that shit. Here are a few options. Let's fucking print that shit. It'll be done tomorrow.
You commercialized it.
Yeah.
You capitalized that shit.
Yeah.
Achha, no, but you're saying that's not even your wildest thing. What was your wildest
okay. So I actually went, and my first pitch was 3D mapping projection. And in 2012, 3D mapping projection was not something...
Could you explain what that is? I don't know
so
what that is.
3D mapping projection is basically... So what you do is, so this surface, right?
Yeah.
When a projector hits that surface, right, it'll break. The image will break.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Because it's bumpy.
Because of the bumpy surface, right? In 3D mapping projection is what you do is you laser map the surface.
Oh boy.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when you put the image on, it will look flat. And then you can like animate it and whatever the hell, blah blah.
Yeah.
So it became it is still now like huge, but it's a very expensive proposition.
Okay.
It's become cheaper as we're 8 years down the road now.
Yeah.
But at that time, 1 minute of a mapping show cost roughly around about $60,000.
अच्छा नहीं ये नहीं हो रहा.
Yeah.
मैं नहीं खेल रहा ये वाला मैं
तो
नहीं
फिर
खेलूंगा.
उन्होंने कहा भाई अच्छा नहीं आप ये ना सोचो.
ये हम भी नहीं खेलेंगे. ये कोई नहीं खेल रहा.
इतने बजट नहीं है. So idea बहुत अच्छा है.
I like it. I'll give you points for the thought.
Yeah. So फिर I tried doing it here also. Then this guy क्या कहते हैं contacted me who's from Islamabad, was from some university, said, listen, I've heard that you've been pitching this and that. Can you implement it? I said, I know how to implement it. I just don't have the capability of animation, so to speak, to do it. I can outsource it and get it done, whatever. The equipment just has to be rented. So then these people have implemented it. So हमारे कायद के मज़ार पे I don't know अगर हुआ है, लेकिन ये क्या है जो जिना का mausoleum, not the mausoleum, man, the house.
Yeah, what's it called?
Yeah, what's it fucking called?
Well, so there's 3 people here. Yeah,
we are
I
Pakistani.
swear to God, I love Pakistan, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Fair hall तो नहीं है, fair hall तो दूसरी
नहीं अब्दुल्ला शाह गाजी के जो पीछे है यार,
Mohata Palace.
Mohata Palace. Yeah.
Of course I know that place.
Yeah, of course.
Jeez. तो
Yeah. तो मोहाटा पैलेस पे शो हुआ है. हाँ, मैं देखा.
Well, that's what it is, na. Generally, you know how when you ask me, you're like, okay, what do you want to talk about? I want to talk about all this. There's all this brilliance brimming in Karachi, in Hyderabad, in our cities, in our country generally. It's just brimming.
Yeah.
Why don't we know about it? You know what I mean?
Because not marketed right now.
Yeah, but that, and also the other thing where we were talking about the fact that we're okay thriving in our own mediocrity. We don't want to bring it to light. Say if you and I are in competition, right? And you're doing something that's absolutely groundbreaking. Forget competition. You're like, no one in the country is doing it. I'm just gonna be like, fuck that guy. Like, that's it. That's my reaction. My knee jerk is, I hope it goes bankrupt. No. You need to understand. This is good for everyone.
Yes.
I need to pick this up. I need to learn it. Like, I mean, when we met at Amir Bhagat's workshop, right?
Yeah.
You and I mean, I think you're as old as he is, or a little older.
Am I?
Yeah, you and me. And he's scolding us like we're a bunch of like pre-nursery kids. But sometimes that's what it takes. In fact, most times that's what it takes when you need to learn something.
Yes.
You know, like, the military academy किस्से are legendary. वहाँ पे ragging होती है. You wouldn't survive a day. Fair play. But there's a point to it. ऐसे ही नहीं कोई ragging कर रहा होता है उनकी, because they're being broken down so they can become like the finest officers and stuff. That's the same thing for everything, ना. उसकी जगह हम ये बोलते हैं, नहीं, मतलब, why is he better than me? That's it. It's that simple.
No, we don't want to learn, man.
Yeah,
we don't want to learn. That's the issue. And we don't want to teach either, right?
We don't want to teach, not for free at least.
No, we don't. We always want to see what is our incentive, where do we take advantage of the situation.
Sure.
And that's sad. It's tragic, man.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Especially because, yaar, wohi wali baat hai na. This is such a brilliant country. These are such brilliant people. You don't know why I know they're brilliant. Because I've lived in Kuala Lumpur. Alhamdulillah. I'm not bragging, but I've lived in Kuala Lumpur. I've lived in Toronto. And I've seen Pakistanis thrive. Just thrive. कोई ऐसा काम आप मुझे दिखा दो कि यार ये पाकिस्तानी जो है ना, ये वाले काम में नहीं है. रियल एस्टेट में कौन है? पाकिस्तानी है. They're running for government positions there. They're into tech. They're into digital medias. They're into everything. Whatever is the thing that's happening there. They have accounting firms. They have law firms. Everything. If we are as a people this brilliant, how can't we just get along with each other? Why can't that just happen?
नहीं यार, पता है, आप अगर, लेकिन हमारी माइनॉरिटीज़ मैं नहीं कहूँगा, लेकिन हमारे अगर आप सेक्ट्स में घुसना शुरू करो ना, आगा खानी हो गए, शिया हो गए, ठीक है, you will see a lot of unity in them.
100%,
right?
100%. They take care.
They'll take care of each other. So I've always taken advantage of that factor. My name is Sayyid Zain Jafar.
What
What
are you talking about here?
So and I'm not LA Tashi.
No.
Right? So in 2012, I used to have an office in Beaumont Plaza.
Okay.
And this is next to PIDC.
Okay, sure,
Yeah. So anyways, I'm over there, and the guard would ask my name, and I would get preferential treatment, and I would get a nice parking spot. The guy would take care of me. He would, it was just nice. Yeah. Anyway, so one day I'm sitting in the office and this guy comes and the guard comes and he says, "आप अपना पूरा नाम बताएं." मैंने कहा Zain. कहते नहीं पूरा. मैंने कहा Zain Jafar. पूरा नाम बताएं ना.
Why are you being
I'm
like
like,
this?
what's wrong with you? I'm like, Sayyid Zain Jafar. क्यों क्या हो गया? तो he's like, मुझे पता था आप अहले तशी हैं. मैंने कहा क्या? ये क्या होता है?
Burgerist of the burgers from Karachi.
You know, I was like, what are you saying? What is this?
ये क्या होता है?
So
Is this a social group I have to
yes,
join?
exactly.
What's this?
So I've taken advantage of that name, you know, in and I've been quiet about it at points also where they've been like, oh, this is a group for Shia. Oh, okay.
Just let it go.
You know?
But that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the thing, वही जो आपने बोला ना, where you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say that they're minorities.
Yeah.
But that's their mindset.
Yes.
Is that we are minorities,
Yes.
therefore
Yes.
we must take care of
Yes.
ours.
Yes.
But we're all yours.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we're all the same.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah, but it's that divide and rule.
but it is, yeah,
you
because
know,
and भाई दूसरी चीज ये
yeah.
है ना कि practically they would say, हाँ काजी साहब आप तो सही बोल रहे हैं, and your
Yeah.
sentiments are wonderful,
Yes.
but your sentiments won't protect me.
Yeah.
So there is violence against them. There is all this nonsense. It is going on.
Yeah, but it's only to destabilize.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. It's easier to control smaller groups
Yeah.
as opposed to one united form.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it works to their advantage to have Balochi, Sindhi, Urdu speaking, Mahajir,
Yeah.
Pathan, Punjabi,
Yeah.
Sindhi, Saraiki.
Yeah.
Fuck, you are Pakistani, yeah. Khatam karo kahani. You
we're
know
all
what I'm saying?
Pakistani.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You know.
ये शिया वाली what's interesting
yeah.
is कि मेरी क्योंकि दाढ़ी आती है ऐसे है
Yeah,
ना,
okay.
अभी तो नहीं है, पर मेरी आती है ऐसे है.
Okay.
तो someone actually, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
I just let it grow out sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're like कि कितनी प्यारी आपने सूफियों वाली दाढ़ी रखी हुई है. And I understand Sufis to be brilliant. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, of course, yes.
Yes.
But that wasn't my intention, and that's not what they meant. They didn't mean Sufi as
Okay.
in Maulana Rumi
Okay.
or Ghazi Baba. That's not what they meant.
Okay.
They meant like Shia wali. And again, like they were just so nice to me. I'm like, listen, nothing in me changed. And we had a very
Yeah.
good exchange. We could have had this exchange regardless of what I was. I wouldn't even. Nauzubillah tawbah astaghfar, I didn't even have to be Muslim.
Yeah.
And we would still be this nice. Like,
Yes.
we would have still had this great meal. Everything would have been
Yeah.
good. But instead, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Then, right?
Tragic, dude. Yeah. So tragic.
Let's end on your sports car. You said you were buying sports car. Which one
Yeah.
did you buy first?
Yeah, so I've always wanted. So my dad says since I was a child, like he gave me this F40, radio control sport car, Ferrari F40.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So I wouldn't call it a Ferrari. I would call it a red sports car. My dad didn't understand. I liked Ferraris, but
Yeah.
like he stuck to the red sports car.
Yeah.
So every time I'd be like, Baba, गाड़ी खरीद दो, sports car दे दो. Baba would be like, जब बड़े होगे खुद कमाओगे खरीद लेना. तो बाबा खरीद दो अब यूनिवर्सिटी खत्म होगी, अब दे दो, कुछ कर दो.
कुछ कर दो,
कुछ
like
कर
you
दो,
need this.
So alhamdulillah, dude, first project, the first thing I did was buy a red RX-8. Which
So that was you all those years ago on these streets?
Yeah. So I bought a red 2004 Auto RX-8 at that time, and didn't know shit about the car, just wanted it.
This is a theme with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Money.
Exactly.
Just go in.
Just buy it, and I'd just gotten married. I'd gotten married in December, and in January I went and bought it.
Oh, what did she say?
Just a month. Ecstatic, okay?
Yeah,
Husband,
yeah.
like 24-year-old, buying red sports car, amazing, brilliant, loving it.
Yeah.
So day one, I'm like, I bring it home, and क्या कहते हैं, my father sits. I'm like, my dad's going to be the first one to sit. And my dad's like, crying his eyes out. He's like, whatever. Oh, तेज नहीं भगाना, trying to be stern, but like crying, sort of situation.
Jeez,
Loving
that's so
it.
cute. Yeah,
So then I took my mother, took my brother, and then I took my wife for the longer drive.
Yeah.
So I take my wife out, and we're on Seaview, and the car starts bogging down. Like, this weird maybe sports car. Don't know. होता होगा.
रेव कर देते हैं,
हाँ,
ठीक हो जाएगा.
सही है, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. I reach Iwane Shehbaz and I'm like, I gun it and smoke starts coming out of the hood. Okay. And I'm sitting with my wife and my wife's like, what the fuck is going on? This is that, whatever. Acha, and I stop on the side of the road and the fucking hood is boiling and like, you know, smoke is coming out, this and that, whatnot. I'm like, fuck. So I call the owner and the owner says, oh, I have a few friends who are there and close by and they'll come sort it out. I'm like, okay. So we tow the car to another friend of mine's house and then subsequently whatever. Turns out that I had overheated the car and blown the radiator hose.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How did you overheat it? Like
just on it constantly, right? Like there was no like, acha chalo, the chill maro, bagao, chill maro.
So these drives that you were taking your mom and your dad and your
yeah,
brother
yeah,
on, just
I'm
like gunning it.
raping the car, okay? So anyways, then it was, because it was a rotary, it was, not many mechanics worked on it and whatnot. So it's
a rotary engine.
It is a rotary engine.
Everyone is not a gearhead.
Achha,
Please
okay.
explain yourself. It's a rotary engine.
It's a rotary engine.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Which is not like a piston engine.
Yes.
And the mechanics here are not well versed.
Because they don't see as many.
No, not at all. So, anyways, so the guy changed the radiator, was blah blah. तो फिर मैंने वो गाड़ी रखी all of 2012 and 2013 summer I found another RX-8. This was like this limited edition blue Mazda Speedwing, nicer rims, nicer body kit.
That nice blue though.
Huh?
That neon blue.
Really nice. Not neon, like it was a navy blue and purple mixture sort of situation. Beautiful. Mazda speed seats, the works, Auto XZ exhaust, loving it. Owned that car for a bit and owned it till around about September 2014, where I had an accident with a dog.
Oh,
okay,
God.
So we had gone out for our drives. We had this RX-8 club, 22 RX-8s in it.
Wow.
It was a sight.
Are you part of the bourgeoisie? What's going on here?
It was a sight to behold. We all would go out and whatever. So I remember I was in phase 8, nearby where Kulachi is, right before Kulachi. There's a turn. So I'm taking that turn, maybe 150, 160.
Kilometers an hour.
Kilometers an hour. And a dog just runs in front of me.
Oh, God, no.
So the dog hits the car, and the next thing I know is my traction lights are turning on. The car is like swaying, and I go and hit the sidewalk. So turned out that the dog had gone through the bumper, hit the radiator, coolant had wet the tires, and hence had lost traction. So that car was basically written off.
And then the dog didn't survive.
Huh?
The dog, there was no chance of surviving.
The dog was in like 2 pieces.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So then 2015 happened, and I opened a restaurant called Chop Chop Walk.
Oh, do what?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So in order to I was like, and the restaurant started doing really well.
Yeah, mashallah.
So I was like, I have to reward myself. So
you still need more rewards. Is that what you need?
So I went and bought another RX-8.
Oh my God.
So this was a 2006 Evolve, and it was a 6-speed manual UK edition. Brilliant, beautiful car, wine red. And we had imported an engine for it, a rotary engine, from a company called Petite Racing in the USA.
So it's not the stock engine. It's already a sports car, but you're going to upgrade the engine even more because
because we can.
Because you have a problem with driving. You just want to fly at this point.
It was brilliant. 0-meter engine, reinforced housing and lightweight flywheels and and basically the thing is that I wanted to supercharge it. They had a supercharger kit also for it, which could only run on a reinforced engine.
Sahi, fair.
So, anyways, bought that, and 1 year later, we decided to open the second branch of Chop Chop,
Yeah. Mashallah.
and I needed investment, so I sold the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then in 2017, 2017, I bought my fourth RX-8, which was
Definitely sensing a theme at this point.
an '05 Type S 6-speed, and this was like my baby. Because the thing is, I had done all this learning during this time,
Sure,
also
fair enough, yes.
very hands-on.
Yes.
You ask me anything to do with a rotary or with an RX-8, like I am your guy.
Yeah.
So, क्या कहते हैं, and the thing is, also understand the theme is over here that once I get into something, I'm very comfortable being in that situation then.
Sure, yeah.
Hence, did not want to change platforms, so to speak. I wanted to own that platform.
Sure,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes,
So,
yes.
I wanted to be the best, or understand that entire platform as best as I could.
Sahi, fair.
So,
It's a good attitude.
so I owned that, and this RX-8. So there's a company called Black Halo Racing, based out of the States.
Achha.
And Black Halo Racing does a worldwide competition where you can showcase your cars and the mods you've done to it, etc., and whatever it is. And the winners, the 12 winners, get to be on their annual calendar. So my car won 2018
Ooh.
and won
Wow.
2019 also.
Wow. Mashallah.
Yeah. So yeah, alhamdulillah, man.
Alhamdulillah.
Like, I had a great experience.
So three questions now.
Yeah.
Ek to, I want to talk about your restaurant in the Rona.
Yeah.
Because that's a conversation.
I've sold the restaurant. Yeah, I
Before
sold
the
the
Rona?
restaurant in 2018.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you thanking your lucky stars?
I am.
No way restaurants are surviving this.
No.
Even
no.
with the delivery and everything.
No, man. We're talking about 90% reduction in revenue. Yeah, straight off the bat. This is not even an exaggerated figure.
No,
We're
no.
saying,
Yeah.
people who were making, upwards of 15 million a month, not like under 2 million right now.
Jeez, dude. And that sounds like a lot of money, but they have bills and they have staff and everything.
Yes.
All those things, yeah.
Bro, people don't understand. People are like, oh, restaurants have been earning so much during this entire time. No, this
ऐसा नहीं
is
होता।
not the case.
ऐसा नहीं होता है।
This is not the case.
That's not how business
Because
work.
look, Imran Khan came and the dollar went south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or north, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah.
And basically, restaurants anyways started suffering, right? Because what started happening was imports became expensive.
Sahi.
The restaurant started absorbing that increase, couldn't pass it on to the customer.
Sure.
Hence, revenues were going down anyways.
Reduced anyways, yes.
Anybody who wanted to pass it on to the customer suffered financial, like, sale loss,
Yeah,
right?
obviously,
Because
yeah.
people were like, we're not willing to pay for this.
No, yeah.
So, so restaurants in the last year, anyways, were on a very, very weak footing, barely surviving. But alhamdulillah, making money, right? Corona, 1 month of Corona,
Just destroyed it completely.
khatam, finish. That is all your feasibility out of the window.
I'm in conversations with
yeah.
part of the ownership of Marcel's, because when you talk about bourgeoisie, like
Yeah.
that's the level, right?
Yeah.
Everything's imported. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
We studied together, Umair
Yeah.
Khalili and I, and to uska bhi, his initial response was, yeah, why do you want to talk about something that's just horrible?
Yeah.
Well, people need to know, no? Because people
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Behral, like, I don't want to end this on a negative
Yeah.
note. So
Yeah.
the last two questions. एक तो
Yeah.
ये कि RX-8 होती थी जब मैं छोटा था. I'm a little younger than you, but when I was, so I left in 2014.
Okay.
उससे पहले तक RX-8 होती थी और 370Z होती थी. Those were the two
350Z
big,
होती
that's
थी,
right,
हाँ.
350. Yeah. Those were the two sports cars. वो Nissan होती थी, ये Mazda
Yeah.
थी. Those are the two big sports cars.
Yeah.
So, like, you're part of that whole scene because you're doing the YouTube thing. Talk a little bit about the YouTube thing that you're doing.
What
with
YouTube thing? I'm not doing a YouTube thing.
the car videos?
Okay, so
That's just for fun.
no, so in 2018 when I got into the camera and everything, I was one of the reasons for learning it and learning it so vigorously, apart from the business side of it, was that I thought that the scope of creating content regarding automobiles
Yes.
is huge.
You still think so? It
I still
is.
think so. Yeah. I think there's a massive need for it.
Yeah.
Huge market. But I didn't do it right. Okay, I was not consistent
Sorry.
because just because I just wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
Didn't understand it. Even my Instagram, my Facebook, whatever. I have 13,000 or so on my Facebook. I have 6,000 on my Instagram.
अच्छा 6,000
Yeah.
मेरे 600
but YouTube जो था ना was a platform I was failing at miserably ना, मतलब कि 500-600 थे और मतलब कि views video पे 40,000 आते थे लेकिन subscriber नहीं बढ़ते थे.
You couldn't translate it.
Yeah,
so
just
to speak,
for some reason. Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody would be like, oh, Zabardast, Zain bhai, this and that. Blah, 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 blah. अच्छा एक और जो मुसीबत है ना वो ये है कि देखो the way the market is also so yes, you are right, where the RX-8s and the Evos and the 350Zs were the shit at that time.
Yeah, back when, yeah.
2018 saw a shift, and a very big shift, okay? Where now the same owners owned Lamborghinis, Ferraris,
In Karachi?
Porsches,
Dude,
Corvettes.
There's a secret society. I have no idea what's going on.
They're right outside your house.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Well, I just go outside to flip
Saturday,
tires.
6 p.m. you are hearing this.
I just flip tires. I have headphones on. You know what I mean?
So, anyway, so the supercar scene in Karachi is huge, and there's a group that meets. These are not JDM tuners and whatnot. JDM being the Japanese imports like the Silvias and the Supras and the Evos and whatnot.
This is European.
We are
supercars,
talking like German, super Italian supercars, and we're talking we're talking GT3 is over here, like a 911 GT3 is over here.
This is a Porsche.
They're like I think 500 in the world or something like that, or 1,000 in the world.
We have some here.
We have one here.
Jeez.
Yeah. There's a Huracan here. There's a Ferrari here. There's 2 Ferraris here actually. Three Ferraris. One that comes out. There are at least 30 Porsches that come out together over here.
That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? So we're talking about communities and minorities taking care of each other.
Yes.
This community takes care of their own as well.
Oh yes,
right?
Yes,
so
yes.
That's a close-knit group.
Massively,
That's
huge.
That's interesting, right?
So going back to the YouTube thing, like I recently during Corona had a lot of free time on my hand, and this friend of mine approached me, who's in the car scene as well. He owns an E63 AMG, which is tuned by Brabus.
That's a Mercedes.
A Mercedes, 730 horsepower. He owns a 718 Boxster, which is a Porsche. And he, sorry, not the 718. He owns the 981 or something. Anyways, it's Boxster GTS. And he owned Pakistan's R8 V10 supercharged.
That's an Audi.
The
one that Iron Man drives.
Yes.
कोई तो reference देना पड़ेगा. You're having all these things.
Yes. So, and this is 800 horsepower, whatever.
जो पानी में चलाना था उनको. पानी के ऊपर चलेगी गाड़ी.
बिल्कुल. तो उसने कहा कि listen, मुझे YouTube चैनल करना है, और मैंने उसको ना बहुत डिसवेड किया ना. मैंने कहा कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, स्कोप नहीं है, लोग आएंगे बकवास करेंगे, तुम फालतू में नज़रों में आओगे वगैरह वगैरह. He's a 22-year-old kid. So
these cars?
Yeah. Well, there's dad's cars, but still. Right? Yeah. So he goes by Karzar. So anyways, उसने कहा Zain bhai, just let's make 4 videos together. I'm like, okay, fine. So we made them, and I had a ball of a time. Had a lot of learning.
Looked great.
He also, yeah, you saw some.
Yeah, looked great.
Yeah. So great. And then he continued the journey. Okay. Now understand where I come from over here, right? Anybody else, and I felt this, that anybody else would be like, उस कुत्ते ने मेरे बगैर काम कर लिया, ये देखो मैंने मेहनत इनिशियली की, अब वो उसके ऊपर चढ़ के अब काम कर रहा है, etc. But this is not the mentality.
Shouldn't
the
be.
mentality was, okay, he believes in it, I am able to do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right? And he did it.
Yeah.
And bro, in 2 months he has nearly 7,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
He reached 5,000 subscribers on Instagram.
Mashallah.
Right?
Yeah.
So exponential. One, like a couple of his videos now have 50,000 views on it.
Wow.
Right? All organic.
Yeah.
So I was really amazed. So now that he has done this, I've actually taken inspiration from him and been like, yaar, like Zahir, like, if you could do this, like, can you please teach me, like, what is this situation? And he's like, dude, it's just being consistent with content.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Also, the personality really matters. Because,
100%.
Because what I was doing is I was doing, cinematic videos, right?
Sure.
Where I was not showing myself, the music, cars, beautiful, blah, blah, whatever.
But that's it. No story.
No story.
Yeah.
Zero story, right? He had a lot more content, कि अच्छा मैं ये हूँ, मैं ये करता हूँ, मुझे ये गाड़ी अच्छी लगती है, etc. So he has clicked, I feel. And now he is going to Dubai to find his new supercar.
What's going on with these people, dude?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, secret society. I'm over here trying to make this podcast work.
Yeah.
But Zain bhai, I think we should call it.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible time having you.
Thank you.
Next time, inshallah, we'll talk more about the secret societies that you're a part of. Okay, this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, okay, all right. Okay. But yeah, do you want to share your Instagram or any of those things?
Mr. Zain J.
Mr. Zain J.
Yeah.
And
that's
great.
all I want right now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll see you next time, and we'll see them in the next podcast, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.